Okay, the next two problems on our list are E713 and E714. They go hand in hand, so we're going to work them together. E713 asks us to do a calculation. It says, during the months of January and February, Axe Corporation purchased goods from 3 suppliers. It gives us the events as follows. It says, assumes Axe used a perpetual inventory system, had no beginning inventory on hand, and no sales were made during January or February. Calculate the cost of inventory as of February 28th. So, in this instance, we're using our cost of goods sold equation. Remember, beginning inventory plus net purchases equals the cost of goods available for sale minus cost of goods sold equals ending inventory, right? Let's rebase this line, but this is the total amount for net purchases. We've got gross purchases minus your discounts minus your allowances, add in your freight in, right? Not all of these things will be applicable during the problem, but I just want to give you the full picture of what the cost of goods sold equation looks like. This is representative right here of net purchases, okay? So let's work down on the events and find out what happens on January 6th. It says we purchased goods from Green, for $1,200, right? So let's add $1,200 here to our purchases. Remember, it told us in the beginning of the problem that we had no beginning inventory, right? So we'll put a 0 right there. That was the first transaction that happens. The second one is with Minoz. It says we purchased goods from Minoz for $900. So again, we can add $900 here, right? Reading down the list, it says on January 14th, we paid Green in full. When we paid Green, we operated on terms of 210 net 30, right? So we paid within the discount period, which was 10 days, and we paid earlier than that. So we get the 2% discount. If we take the total purchase price that we had, $1,200, times the 2% discount that was allowed, we should get $24 is our discount that we're taking advantage of, okay? Moving on to the next part, it says on February 2nd, we paid Minoz in full. In this instance, February 2nd was outside of the discount period, so we get no further discount with Minoz. We'll have to pay the full $900. On the next one, it's February 28th. It says we purchased goods for $350 from Reynolds with terms 210 net 45. So $350 here, Reynolds. And that's going to be an addition for the purchases, right? We had no allowances or returns. We had no freight in that we know about. If we add these up, we should get $2,426 for the cost of goods available for sale. This is how much we can sell. When we look at the problem to find out how much we did sell, we find out that it's 0. Therefore, our ending inventory is still $2,426. Okay? E714 asks us to take these same events and then actually journalize them, right? So starting with January 6th, right? We made our first purchase here, $1,200 for Green. We're operating on a perpetual inventory basis, so we debit inventory and credit AP. Why don't I credit cash? Well, because we sold or purchased, on terms, right? 210 net 30. So we didn't pay cash or we wouldn't have terms. So it's accounts payable here. Next, on January 6th again, so January 6th, we purchased from Minoz. Same journal entry here, but now for $900, accounts payable $900. The next thing that happens is that we actually pay Green back, right? Green was our first one that we purchased from. We pay them and we get to take full advantage of the discount, which is $24, okay? So when we pay them back, we have to debit accounts payable. We have to get rid of the entire amount of accounts payable that we owe. Because even if we're not giving full amount of cash, we're still not going to pay it again. So it needs to get rid of our books, right? We know that we're going to give them cash, but we don't know how much yet until we take into consideration the discount, right? Now, when you're doing discounts on purchases, right, operating on the perpetual inventory basis, then you directly journalize to inventory. We're not using a contra account in this instance. We're going to go direct inventory, $24, reducing that, right? We're reducing inventory. We don't need that in there for the actual credit, but I just want to show you that we're reducing inventory $24. And that makes sense, right? It goes right along with our cost of goods sold equation, which in the end calculates our ending inventory, okay? So we're reducing inventory by the amount of discount. It's no longer part of the cost of inventory because we didn't have to pay it, right? So then if we compare that, the $1,200 to the $24, it should mean that we're paying $1,176 in cash. That's how much is actually going to Green. But remember, we're getting rid of the full accounts payable here because we're not going to pay it again, okay? We're not going to pay it again. That's why we have to get rid of the full amount. That $1,200 is being settled for $1,176 because they offered us a discount and we paid in time. On 2213, I believe, we paid Minoz, but we did not get the discount. So in this instance, this is the $900 that we purchased as our second purchase. We pay it all, but we don't pay in time to get the discount. So we have to do full cash and full AP $900. And then on 228, I believe that's our last purchase. We purchased goods. So we again debit inventory, credit AP. We purchased, I think it was 210 net 45 in this instance, and it was $350. And those are your journal entries. Please send me any questions that you have. This is E713, E714, but they go hand in hand.